Anton, we ready to go? We on? Oh, whoa, there we are. Hey, everybody, how you doing? All right, this is very exciting. This is my first time at speaking at Surfaces. It's my third time at Surfaces, and I was able to find the conference room, which is the first time that's happened to me. So anyway, I hope that you guys are having a good time, and I can see that you guys are the ones who are willing to find free stuff instead of going to lunch at noon. So thank you for being here for that. I appreciate that. I'm Adam Singer. I run Ability Growth Partners. We help flooring stores get more visitors, leads, customers, revenue, and all the stuff that we guys like to do when we run a business. I want to start by thanking Paul Trainer for having me in here, and to all of you guys for coming. I have a lot to talk about. So let's see. It feels to me like things are changing very fast. I'm not sure if anybody else is feeling that. Is anybody here who's been in the flooring industry for more than 5 years? Just raise your hand. More than 10 years? 15? 20? So things have changed in the last 20 years, right? I mean, do you guys, who here remembers the Yellow Pages, right? You remember like if you were looking for a flooring store, you wanted to be a flooring store, because you'd be the top of the heap, right? Except everyone thinks you're, flooring store, which is again a little bit, pardon me if that was too loud, but so that's what worked. 20 years ago, that worked great because the first store they saw was your flooring store. And then came websites. And it wasn't a matter of having it was, do you get found on Google? And then after Google, it was Facebook. And then Facebook, Twitter. And then it was YouTube. And then it was TikTok and everything else. And so until there's just so many places where you could put your time, your effort, your money, it's impossible to figure out where to go next. Who feels like it's hard to know where they should put their money in for their marketing and advertising budget? Yeah, it's impossible to know. There's so many different places that you could be putting time and money. It's very difficult to figure out how to make that choice. And the reality is, from my perspective, they're all bad and they're all good. And what I want to introduce to you today is a perspective which I feel is timeless. I learned it from Seth Godin, who's one of the big marketing people. If you don't know anything about Seth Godin, it is worth checking him out. Great podcast, great blog. Seth, you do seth.blog, I think is Seth Godin stuff. Anyway, the idea is that there is a framework that will enable you to figure out how to best spend your time and money in getting more customers. Because after all, and this is often forgotten about, the reason you do your website, the reason you do your social media, the reason you do anything and everything that touches marketing is to get more money. I don't mean to be crass about it, but the reality is that's why you're doing your marketing. So I have another talk tomorrow, I think it is, about leads and revenue, what matter in marketing. So this is going to be, you can think of this as sort of part one of two sessions, but each one functions independently. But if you want to learn more about leads and revenue and marketing, that is what the next session I'm speaking at tomorrow is about. So plug for that. Okay, what is that framework? The framework looks like this. Business never happens until these four things are present. Awareness, trust, and tension. I know awareness is there twice. It's there for a reason. But there is never anyone who has ever bought anything from someone they didn't know existed. If someone does not know that you exist, they will not buy from you. On the other side of that, if someone does not know they have a problem that you solve, they will not buy from you. That's awareness on both sides. You have to have awareness that you exist and awareness that I have a problem I need to solve. Quick experience about this in Vegas. Who's gotten lost in the casinos so far? This is my third time in Vegas. I came to Vegas every time for Surfaces. But I check into Excalibur. I know, it's Excalibur, fine. I check into Excalibur, and they say, your room is in the resort tower. Where is the resort tower? Just across the casino, and there's a great sign that says, Resort Tower this way. And you go that way, and then you get to the casino and the slot machines, and there's another sign that says, nothing about the resort tower. If you guys explain that as well, I take it, right? Whenever it tells you how to get someplace, it gets you going in that direction, and then it doesn't tell you to get the rest of the way to get to that direction. Why are they doing that? In my humble opinion, they are making you aware, more aware of the gambling that's taking place in that room. Why? Because that's where they get to make their money. So the whole idea of what they're doing is they're manufacturing an experience for you that elevates your awareness that the casino is happening. So I don't necessarily like that or advise that in terms of anything that you guys do, but that is awareness. That is a marketing play for awareness in action. Similarly, last night I went to the Sphere. Have you guys been to the Sphere yet? Really cool. Good experience. I wish I could get to the U2 show, but that's not in my cards. But so why did I go to the Sphere? How did I get to choose to buy a ticket and come to the Sphere for some stupid amount of money, which I won't tell my wife about, so please keep it between us. Anyway, number one, I had to be aware that the Sphere existed. I learned about that from Starfish on Instagram. There had to be awareness that I wanted something to do because I'm in Vegas. I need something. I'm in Vegas. I don't want to miss out on my chance of doing cool things in Vegas. Then there has to be a sense of trust. Trust is what takes you past awareness. So nobody will do business with you if they don't trust you. So if awareness is, I know that you exist, I know I have a problem that you solve, trust is how I decide whether I'm going to give you the time of day. Trust is how I decide I trust you that you might be able to solve my problem. It means I'm willing to give you my phone number, I'm willing to give you my name, I'm willing to connect with you in some way, shape, or form. Until that trust takes place, business will not move forward. So in the case of the Sphere, it wasn't enough that I knew the Sphere existed. It's super cool, it's great and flashy, it's this new thing. It wasn't enough that I was like, well, I'm in Vegas, I have to do cool stuff while I'm in Vegas because I'm only in Vegas once a year or whatever. So there had to be a sense of trust. This is going to be an experience that's worth, I'm not even going to say how much I paid, but this is going to be worth the astronomical amount of money they're going to have me spend to get into this room. Whether you're selling flooring, whether you're selling hot dogs, whether you're selling whatever it is under the earth, there has to be something that brings someone to a sense of trust that you will solve their problem. Number 4, tension. Tension is what translates from I trust you, but now your solution is worth more to me than my money, or my time for that matter. Business happens when you have awareness, I know you exist. Awareness, I know that I have a problem that you solve. Trust, I believe that you will solve my problem. And tension. Tension meaning that I'm more uncomfortable not buying from you than I am buying from you. So in flooring, to say specifically, okay? I know that as a contractor, I need to have someone who's going to put this flooring in to make this house the way I need it to be for this redesign, right? So I'm not going to give you business if I don't know you exist. That's obvious. So your advertising dollars need to make sure that people know you exist. I'm not going to give you business if I don't know that I need that. That's another story. Fine. But next level is, once I recognize that you exist, I know there are other people who can do this flooring for me as well. Then the question is, who do I trust more? We'll talk in a minute about free and paid ways that you generate trust. But I'm going to go forward with the person I trust more. And then I will go furthest with the person who I experience tension with. I'm going to do my business to Kara because I know that if I go with John Doe, I might not have the experience that I wanted to have. And so she may cost a little more, but it's uncomfortable to not do business with her because the tension is there for me. However, that tension exists. So what I'm going to propose to you when you're looking at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, websites, Google, SEO, advertising on newspapers, television, radio, whatever it might be, you need to start by asking yourself the question, is this going to move forward awareness, trust, and tension? And as I'm doing that, as I'm putting that money out there, how is that going to happen? If I tell we have to be on Instagram. Everyone else is on Instagram. We have to be on Instagram. Okay, we have to get on Instagram. Fine, great, be on Instagram. The question is Instagram going to make people more aware you exist? Great. Is that what you need for your business? Is the problem for your business that people don't know you exist? And if that is the case, is Instagram really the right solution? Is it the right, however much you pay or don't pay for it, is that going to boost that awareness? Okay, the issue is that the reality is that there are 7 other people doing flooring in my neighborhood, in my area. So awareness isn't an issue because whoever knows that I sell flooring knows they sell flooring too. So I don't have a problem with awareness, but the issue is trust. So is Instagram going to improve the trust that people need to have for you to do business with you? That's the next question in terms of if this money is worth what I pay for it. And then tension, right? Is this going to create a scenario where people are going to feel bad doing business with somebody else because they trust me so much, or they have concerns about the other guy? I'm not saying that's necessarily the right way to do your marketing, but whatever that tension is, your advertising dollars are only spent well if they're effectively boosting awareness, trust, and tension from the people who will give you business. I'm going to go into each of these individually about the free and paid ways to do each of these. But are there questions so far about how to do awareness, trust, and tension so far? Because if there are, I have these great little microphones that have like no connection to the speaker, but they help me record you, and I paid like $50 for each of them. So it's a great chance for me to make a return on my investment. Anyone have a question about awareness, about the first part of the talk? Just hungry? Okay, fine. Yeah.
I was just going to ask the filter you're saying, are you saying that it should always hit all 3?
No, not necessarily. In fact, usually you can't hit all 3. Usually you have to sort of choose what you're going for. But the ROI it's a great question. The ROI is going to be the thing that's going to let you decide whether you should do free or paid, or if paid's a waste of money, is answering the question, do I need awareness? Does this give me awareness? Do I need trust? Does this give me trust? Etc. Great question, thanks. Other questions? Okay, cool. Let's talk about awareness. All right, so let's talk about how not to do awareness first. Especially in the internet time that we're living in. Unless you are a personal injury attorney is what comes to mind, right? You really don't, and even that is, in my opinion, a bad thing, but that you do not want to be spending your money getting people to become aware they need your service. If you are in a business where people don't know they need what you have, first of all, you're probably not in the flooring industry, but presumably people who are somewhat aware, but that is a very expensive proposition. In an age where there are literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of searches every day for flooring, the idea that you are going to invest money that people should become aware they need flooring is just, in my opinion, a waste of money, time and money. Because there are too many people who need flooring that you can put yourself out in front of, that the idea of making people more aware they need new flooring is a waste of your time and money. Go after the people who already know they need your service, as opposed to trying to make people aware of it. I think most people in this room are not in that camp, but I want to make that aware. Your advertising dollars are, generally speaking, poorly spent in this industry, making people aware that they need new flooring. Let's start with that. Next, awareness number 2. How about making people aware that you exist? This is crucial. If no one knows you exist, you will not get business. Now the question is free stuff you can do versus paid stuff you can do. Let's start with free. I have a strategy that I learned from Dan Tyre, who is a startup guru at HubSpot and many other places as well. And it's called Customers, Ghosts, and Losers. So customers, ghosts, and losers means that everybody who touches your business will become one of 3 things. Either become a customer, woohoo, they bought from you, great. They'll become a ghost. They went so far, they were absolutely going to buy, they were so certain they really got engaged with us, and they just disappeared. That's a ghost. And then losers, they were going to buy from you, and for whatever reason, they decided they were going to buy from somebody else. Right? I mean, I'm not saying loser as a term of bitterness, but just saying they didn't buy from you. You lost them, they lost you, whatever it was. Customers, ghosts, and losers. Those people know you exist. They also trust you. They trust you enough that they went far enough to buy it from you in the case of the customers, to reach out to you and connect with you in the case of the ghosts, or to go far enough that they decided not to use you in the case of the losers. Those customers, ghosts, and losers are a repository of goodwill that you can tap into for free. The freest way to do it, I mean, assuming you pay your phone bill anyway, pick up the phone once a quarter, once every 2 quarters, or once a year, and just call. Because these people, the goal of your advertising is awareness, trust, and tension. These people have at least awareness and trust. So just to say, if they were your customer, hey, just wanted to check in, how's it going? Did it meet your expectations? Great, so happy to hear that. Do you know anybody else you think would benefit from our service? Did it not meet your expectations? I'm so sorry, we want to make it right. What can we do for you? Because when you do that, you massively increase trust. Because people feel that you care about them. How many people have bought flooring products and never heard from the flooring company ever again? Everybody, right? Because it's not what people do. But they made a $15,000 purchase from you. They almost certainly know somebody else who walked into their house and said, did you get a new floor? And that is free money. Your experience with them to be able to boost that sense of trust is free money. So making that phone call for the customers, for the ghosts, all the more so. If they disappeared from you, you may be telling yourself a story that says, oh, they disappeared because they didn't like me, they don't want our product, we're too expensive, we're too this guy sneezed when he was talking in the first place, whatever it might be. But that's not necessarily the case. It could be they ghosted because they just forgot. So if you call those people, every client I've worked with that's done this has made money from doing this. Because the reality is when people feel like you care about them and you're willing to put yourself out there to connect with them, they will trust you more and they will give you more business. Losers, the same thing. They decided to go with somebody else. No problem. A year later, hey, just want to touch base with you. How did it go with company X? Went great? I'm so happy to hear that. I just want to make sure you guys get your problem solved. It didn't go great? Well, what can we do to make it right? Because we're happy to help you. We're here to help you. Customers, ghosts, and losers. To make that happen, in my humble opinion, you can use a spreadsheet, but I believe that you should put your time and effort into a CRM. If you're not familiar with a CRM, you can Google it, but I am a HubSpot person. There are plenty of other CRMs out there that are excellent. I like HubSpot because you can do it great for free. Go to HubSpot.com, get a free CRM, and use it however you wish. But the point is, the CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It is a way for you to keep track of everybody who touches your business, everybody who you touch. That repository of people lets you put in there, last time I talked to John Doe was in April of 2023, and he bought from us. Great. Now you have a reminder. Everybody who I bought from April 2023, I'm going to make a phone call in April 2024 and say, hey, how's it going? Did it work out for you okay? Did you buy from company X? Did it work out for you? Great, just happy to hear it. That's free money and worth so much more than any time you could spend on the greatest Instagram post in the world. You know why? Because Instagram doesn't care about you. Instagram cares about one thing and one thing only: people coming back to Instagram. So if you have the best post in the world, it still doesn't necessarily go as far as making a phone call to somebody who came to your store and didn't buy and saying, hey, how's it going? For the same 5 minutes you could spend posting a picture of the whole team having a great time at the basketball camp over the summer, you can make a phone call, say, hey, how's it going? So that's a free way to build awareness and trust through customers, ghosts, and losers. But again, I do recommend you have a CRM to make that happen. Okay, let's talk about trust. So there's a lot to talk about trust and trust building. Free things to talk about with trust. Google My Business. If you have not claimed or gone online to create your Google My Business profile, that's step one. You just simply write into Google My Business. It will take you to a place where you can create your online profile for your business. Once you have that, you can invite people to give you reviews. Who here is more likely to buy from somebody who has 1,000 5-star reviews on Google as opposed to somebody who has no reviews on Google? All of us. The rest of you, well, I'm not going to say, but everybody, there's no doubt. Just having a Google My Business profile and having and I don't care, call up your mother, your aunt, your cousin, your sister, your friend that you haven't talked to in 75 years. I have 75 years, whatever. But have them give you a review on Google. No one knows and no one really cares. If you have 75 people who like you, which hopefully we all do, and if not, come talk to me because we all need friends. But have them give you a review on your Google My Business. Once you've established your Google My Business identity, all you need somebody to do is just literally Google your business. If your business is called Flooring Des Moines, Flooring Des Moines, whatever. So just Google Flooring Des Moines, your Google My Business profile will pop up. Give me a review. Thank you, Uncle Harry. So great to hear from you. Hope the time in Florida is going well. Whatever it is, Google My Business is totally free. Google will hit you up every chance it gets to get you to do ads, but you don't need to do them. Because the reality is that if Instagram's number one goal is to get people coming back to Instagram, it's also Google's goal to get people coming back to Google. And that means that they want to give people what they want. Google's job for everybody looking for flooring is to give them the best flooring store that they can. That way people will go back to Google. If you want to show up well on Google, the first and easiest, totally free thing to do is to claim your Google My Business identity and get reviews. Because then Google says, hey, this business exists. Google's now where you exist. And they have 75 5-star reviews because, and they don't care if it's Aunt Harry and Uncle Sally or whatever else it is. Aunt Harry, Uncle Sally, whatever. Anyway, that is totally free and totally reliable and almost more reliable than anything else you can do. Paid stuff to get trust. Everyone's heard of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Has anyone ever here heard of Moxie? Cheerwine? Cheerwine, right on. So these are soda companies that didn't, well, Cheerwine still exists and it's in own little pockets in America. It's really well loved. But most of us, if you went to the grocery store and you saw Coke, Pepsi, RC Cola, and Cheerwine, are much more likely to buy Coke and Pepsi, unless you're from a Cheerwine kind of community, than the other ones, because we're familiar with them. There is an aspect of advertising in terms of both where trust and awareness really go hand in hand. The reason why Coca-Cola will pay God knows how many millions of dollars for a Super Bowl ad, or who knows how much money for Snickers to be at every single soccer stadium, is because the more that you see something, the more that you trust it. Visibility leads to credibility, and credibility leads to profitability. That's great terms. And the more people see your advertising, the more they tend to trust you overall. Regardless of whether they have a positive or negative experience sometimes. It's kind of a weird thing. But showing up a lot of times does make a difference. But, again, not necessarily as much of a difference as picking up the phone and saying, how'd your carpeting go, Mr. Jones? I'm just happy to hear that, that's great. But nonetheless, if you're looking for a way to build trust, just being out there on, specifically, I do like Google display ads. You can get a lot of emphasis for your money. But my overall perspective in what to not spend money for, I'm pretty shy on businesses doing their own Google ads. Not a terrible thing, but I see a tremendous amount of money wasted. These animals of Google and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, they love to take businesses' money. And whether it gives you a return on your investment or not, they don't really care or have a real interest in giving that to you. What they really want is giving, they do in a certain sense, but all of the experiences I've had with all these groups, and I've worked with them for 10 years now, is that what they want more than anything else is for you to spend more money on their ads. So if you don't have somebody that's your kind of marketing person to go to, then I'm kind of shy on telling people to do their own Google ads. I'd rather see you just make a point to make phone calls every quarter and with your customers and your ghosts and your losers. I think you'll get a much better return on your investment. So trust, again, making the phone calls, being on Google My Business, free stuff, great stuff, powerful stuff. Cheap-ish stuff are Google display ads, but I would recommend that you have someone looking over your shoulder at least to set it up before those things go out. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias. So for trust and for awareness, they can do decent work, but recognize again that people are on those platforms because they want to see things that entertain them. They're not on those platforms because they want to hear about your flooring store. Unless your flooring store is really entertaining, which if it is, great, roll with that. But the amount of effort it takes to be that entertaining might not pay off in the end. So again, to be on Instagram and the socials, I would never say not to do that. First of all, because it's free, but in terms of how you prioritize your spend in terms of time and of money, recognizing that the phone call is a much more effective way to do it, and those things are good to do, but lower down the line in my perspective. How am I speaking of time? Okay. Tension. Generally speaking, tension is the salesperson's job. Not in an obnoxious way, but your best marketing forward for tension is understanding that your position has to be a sense of trust, and the recognition that trust and care overpower, in my humble opinion, pretty much anything else in this industry. If people feel like they can trust you and you care about them, there is a sense of tension about going anywhere else. That's the best way to do this. But there is obviously the idea that says, hey, this stuff's on sale right now, the prices are going up. The idea that we're having, your end of the year clearance sale, those are all tension moves. So in terms of what you want to do, of course, everyone, I would never say not to have those kinds of promotions, but recognize the idea of those promotions is a sense of tension. Someone just got my same line, excuse me. I'll probably come back later. But I'm sorry. So the paid aspect. Okay, this is what I was thinking of. The paid aspect of tension that I want to discourage you from is competing on price. It's not to say that you shouldn't be mindful of what the other person sells, but my strongest advice to you is to try to be worth more as opposed to charging less. If people feel like you're more expensive because you're worth it, that's the kind of tension you want to create. There was a tour guide, I live in Israel, and there was a tour guide I was talking to once who was in Jerusalem, and he charges a lot for a tour. And we said to him, Jane Doe charges a lot less. And he says, we should probably go with Jane then, because this is what my tour is worth. And Jane's great, she's a lovely person. If you can say that, if you can create that kind of tension that says, yeah, they're cheaper, but we charge more for a reason, you will outsell, in my opinion, enough to make it worth a while all the time. The goal isn't how can I sell for cheaper than the other guy? The goal is how can I justify that I charge more? That's the kind of tension you want to create. Because that sense of tension that says like, gee, you know what? It's a lot cheaper at Walmart, but there's probably a reason it's cheaper at Walmart. Or it's a lot cheaper at Home Depot, but there's probably a reason it's cheaper at Home Depot. That's the kind of tension that you want to create. And again, costs, well, you can say it costs nothing, but it really doesn't. Because creating that environment where the people on your team want to give that kind of service, where the experience in the store and out of the store feels like it's worthy of that service. I mean, look around you in Las Vegas. Which casinos, which resorts seem like they should cost more? There's a clear expectation that if you bought your room at the Waldorf Astoria, you're expecting to get the kind of service you get at the Waldorf Astoria. If you bought your room at, I don't know where else. Someplace else you don't expect Waldorf Astoria kind of a service. So the goal is to try, you don't have to be the Waldorf Astoria, but the goal is to be that sense, to create that sense of tension that enables people to feel like, I could get this for less, but I'm scared of doing that. That's where you kind of want to be. Okay, so that's the idea overall. Awareness, trust, and tension. Again, no sale takes place unless all four things are present. No one will buy from you if they don't know that you exist. No one will buy from you if they don't know they need what you have. Don't worry about making people aware they need what you have, in my humble opinion. But do make a point of doing what it takes to make sure people know that you exist. The cheapest and easiest and most effective way to make people know that you exist is reaching out to people who already are aware of you and already have some trust of you. That's what we call customers, ghosts, and losers. I do recommend using a CRM. I do like HubSpot very much, if for no other reason it's free. It also is very expensive, don't get me wrong. HubSpot has some very expensive tools that, in my opinion, are worth it for the right application, but the free version is great. So that's awareness and trust. Make sure you go to Google My Business and get your account and ask your grandmother, your aunt, your cousin, your sister, and whoever else it is to give you reviews, because it all does count. And then tension, making that point that says that people should experience you as being worth more than what your competition is charging. This is me, Adam Singer. I'm the founder and CEO of Ability Growth. Adam@abilitygrowth is my email. That's the best way to reach me. If you have questions about this, if there's things I wasn't clear enough or I was more clear with, you want more details, please feel free to reach out to me. I love talking shop. I love talking business. If you want to just ask me a question, I'm delighted to talk. Send me an email. We'll make some time to talk, and we'll do a Zoom. AbilityGrowth.com is my website. I love this conference. I'd love to come back again. So if you have ideas of what you'd like to hear that I didn't talk about, send me an email about that too, because I'd love to talk about that as well. Happy to take any questions. Thank you all so much for your time and for putting off your lunch a little bit. Thank you. Questions? Anyone out there? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any ideas for targeting the ghosts? I know you mentioned the telephone, but with HubSpot, like automated email campaigns.
Yep.
Do you have any proven words that work?
Yep. Yeah, so how to target ghosts. Great question again, thank you. So yeah, I didn't talk about email at all, which is really more to slip my mind. So yeah, for sure. So in terms of HubSpot specifically, if you have that list of ghosts, first of all, you can create what's called an automated sequence, where you can see if this person has not become a customer, has not interacted with you in the last 3 months, send them this email chain and have a set of emails. If your audience is large enough, you can target them on social media and on Google and such with display ads. I still don't know that's more effective than making a phone call. My suggestion is usually, my rule of thumb is 8. So 4 phone calls and 4 emails. If someone's a ghost, then usually and you feel like it's worth your time and effort, 4 phone calls, 4 emails. One email, hey, haven't heard from you, but you're interested in doing this. Phone call, hey, not sure if you got my email, but I was interested in doing this, that kind of thing. And that's, again, HubSpot's great for that in terms of creating the marketing automation. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. Yeah, please.
Well, I mean, more of a comment. I think SMS works best for us.
Oh, yeah.
Because, our devices are in our hand.
Yep, 100%.
And, that's, nobody's answering the phone with these numbers, and a lot of numbers are coming up as
Yep,
spam.
yep.
But that's where we find a lot of success with, and what you call the drip campaign.
Yep, yep.
We're sending a message every so often.
Yeah, great comment. Yeah, thank you. SMS is great. I'm usually, I don't think about SMS as much because I'm usually too cheap to go for the extra add-on for HubSpot, but absolutely.
It's pretty cheap.
Thank you. That's exactly what we're actually about to, I have a client about to use Twilio on. Thank you. I'm glad to know that you're enjoying that. Other questions or comments, please? Okay, amazing. Please feel free to reach out to me. Love to talk, love to help. If you are interested in growing together, I'm happy to do that as well. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
You too.
Thank you. Weird. Okay. Thanks, Anton. You need anything from me? I'm back here again, I think, later today. Or maybe I'm someplace else. Got that? I wonder if that worked. How you doing?
So you want it? Well, you have to be able to see the screen, as am I. Okay. So she knows what we're doing. So do you want it on the stage? Yeah, I think it, we maybe kind of sit here. Okay, both of you? Yeah. Okay. I think maybe. Okay. And then, they might not see it. Can we move? We can't move that. I could ask AG. Yeah, I mean, you know what I think? We can sit here. Yep. And I would say two right here, and you can actually just turn it. Yeah. And it's still face up. I'm just trying to figure out where it makes the most sense for my laptop to go so that we can both see what's on the laptop instead of looking at the It is not, but the wires are here. So how about if we? I have an idea.
I left all my junk up there. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I'm trying to figure this all out.
Oh yeah. How you doing? All right, Manny. When's your band playing next? It's been. You got some time before your next gig?
Yeah. So I have one coming up.
February. Oh yeah, really?
Yeah. So it's called Magic. Same Informa doing it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's gonna be there. Do you know LVCC, the Las Vegas Convention?
No. Wait, the convention center over there?
Yeah, convention center. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Really?
15, yeah. And then I do this every year, as a matter of fact. It's
That's
nice.
awesome. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
All right, man.
be you back?
I hope so. I have 2 more talks to give, so hopefully we'll.
Oh, so you'll be back here.
I think I'm giving. I'm not sure where my next one is. Let me just look over here. Next one is. I don't know where it is.
Oh, really? Do you know where?
It's called "Where's My Delivery? Solving Communication Roadblocks."
Do you know what
I don't know where it is. I didn't even. It's funny. Paul sent me a confirmation for this one, but he didn't send me one for the other 2.
Yeah, you got this. What's my? Look.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on a second. It's in.
If it's a session classes, like we'll only have
Okay.
when session's going on for the day tomorrow.
Okay. It says, okay, the next two are in Surfaces Theater. Is that upstairs?
Yeah.
That's in
Steve
the
Jackson,
conference room?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay.
Exactly.
All right, cool.
You like the setup.
Yeah?
It's open.
Okay, cool. I mean,
You
this
have a
was
lot of-
nice. I like this.
Yeah, this is nice too, but
Open's good? I just feel like no one's going to show up in the open thing.
open, but there's like a little, barricade thing.
Yeah.
And I put a chair. It's just like just a stage thing. Something
Okay.
that's in the stage. And everybody come in.
Sounds good. All right, Manny. Good to meet you, brother. Adam, please. Thanks, man. It was fun. I love this stuff. I really do.
Hope I see you again next time.
Yeah, me too.
So,
These are so fun for me. I'm so delighted to do it. Yeah, I love being on
you guys are
stage.
good. I mean, all
Thank you.
speakers, you guys are good.
Thank you.